Hi, to another video. Now my name is Jeffrey and today we're going to be talking about why it is important to know this SoC of your smartphone. Just phone. You definitely need to know. But why should you know what an SoC does and why is it important in the first place? Well, we'll find out very soon. Alright, to kick off, an SoC by itself simply means system on a chip. Now, that name doesn't really mean a lot to a lot of people, and I really don't blame you. It's not really a name that's thrown about a lot. But I think what lots of people do recognize when they hear is the word processor. So basically speaking, you can say that a smartphone's SoC is the phone's processor. Now, I'm going to go through a very highly simplified explanation here, but I'm going to leave links to more thorough discussions and explanations in the description. So basically speaking, an SoC is an integrated circuit that is a motherboard with lots of little circuits on it that runs your phone. Yep, it does everything on the phone. Your display as the screen and everything you do there, it's your SoC. The apps you load, the games you play, the tasks that the phone handles, they're all carried out by the SoC. Most of us will buy phones for communication purposes. The network modem that connects from your phone to whatever masts, network cell tower that's around you, it's actually done from your smartphone SoC. Network modems, they are called. There is nothing you're going to do. Photography, inside the SoC there is a small integrated CPU there called an ISP. That's an image signal processor that handles whatever picture. So when you take a picture from your cameras, it's going to have to go through the SoC to the ISP, and when the ISP is done processing it before it appears on your screen as the final image. Your SoC is very, very important. So now that we know what an SoC is and what it does, why is that knowledge important to you? Well, first of all, there is nothing you're going to do on your phone that doesn't involve this one. So I see lots of people who like to game on their phone, who like to take pictures, who like to record videos and whatever that they like to do on their phone, and they really do not know what an SoC is. And if you are active on social media the way I am, you come and you see people and they ask, I like playing heavy games, which phone is best for me? Or I like taking pictures and stuff, which phone is best for me? Or I like vlogging, I want to do vlogging, I want to do video recording, I'm confused, I don't know which phone to buy, I don't want to waste my money, I bought a certain phone the last time, it didn't live up to expectations, I feel lost. Well, the very first way, one of the very quick ways to solve that problem is recognizing an SoC. Now, I've already made a list of top 100 smartphone SoCs in the world. I'm also going to leave those links in the description so that you check that out as well. Now, phones are divided into different categories based on the parts that they are made of. One of the most important parts by which phones are classified is the SoC itself. The SoC tells how well the phone is going to perform, not just with games, not just with apps, but also with photography, videography, and as well as general overall smoothness and snappiness of the phone. And so we tend to classify phones into different grades. At the top, the very top, you have what are called the flagships, the Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max, the Xiaomi 12 Pro, the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultras. Like those ones are way up there, and then you come all the way down from flagships to flagship killers. They're just above the flagships. They are like flagships, but they're not as powerful as the real flagships, and they sell for lesser prices. So since they're going to sell for lesser, you're going to have to give up some of the functionality that the proper flagships have. Then from the flagship killers, you have what's called the mid-range segment. The mid-range is usually divided to the upper mid-range and the lower mid-range. From there you have the budget, and then from there you now have what are called the entry-level devices. So from the flagship all the way down to entry-level, how you choose to pick a phone within these different cadres will determine how well the phone that you buy will perform very well for you. If you buy an entry-level phone, expecting to play a tasking game like Pro Evolution Soccer Mobile or PUBG, I am sorry, you are going to be very, very disappointed. That is why it is good to check whatever SoC that is on your phone before buying. If you want to buy a phone and you are seeing something like Helio P22 on it, that phone is not going to give you good photography. Videography is going to be poor. It is going to struggle with apps and games because it's basically an entry-level phone with weak SoCs that cannot carry a lot of processing loads. You understand? But if you buy something like a Helio G95, G96, Snapdragon 732, Snapdragon 720G, you see those ones are like standard mid-range processors that are going to give you quality, not as much as the flagships. The flagships are there to give you the absolute best, but they won't give you the absolute best, but they are going to give you just enough very decent performance for you to be able to go home at the end of the day feeling satisfied. In between the mid-rangers and the entry level, you now have like the budget class in between with the Snapdragon 460, MediaTek Helio G35, P35 and all that. They're not as bad as the entry levels, but they're not as good as the mid-rangers. And sometimes these companies, they try and deceive people and they tell them that they're selling a mid-range phone for you when in truth there's a budget class SoC inside, and then people get surprised and they be like, they buy phones, and I've seen somebody tell me that, you mean Helio P35 is not good enough? I'm like, it's not. And I really have a list of, you know, processors. I'm actually happy now that I've published it so that people can go online and check it for themselves. And it's like, oh my god, like, see the rating so low. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you spent your money for. So you're not supposed to burden this phone with more than it can carry. So this is 2022. Let's leave our smartphone mistakes of 2021 far behind us. So whenever you're getting a phone, whatever phone you are getting, you should make sure that you know what SoC is inside. Yes, SoC doesn't completely tell how well the phone will perform, of course not, because there are other stuff that have to be inside. For example, if you like videography a lot, then you're going to have to want to look at whatever cameras are behind the phone that takes the pictures. But that one is an aside. I'm going to talk about that one later on in subsequent video. But what's important for you to know is that your smartphone SoC is super important, and if you buy the wrong one, it is going to impact negatively on your smartphone experience. But if you buy a very decent budget, mid-range and so on and so forth, depends on your pocket, you're going to have like a very lovable smartphone experience and all that. So I'm going to sign out here. I've spent a lot of time on this video. My name is Jeffrey, and see ya.